Hi, my name is Muhammad Rahman. My other teammates is Ami Shami, Alisha Sabrina, Idra Alia, and Sharmin. So we're going to do the talk show about challenges of occupation before and during pandemic COVID-19. Okay, we will start now. Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for participants who are joining this broadcast. Before that, let me introduce myself. I am Fakhr Akmal, your hosting for this broadcast. So for today, the topic that we're going to explain are what of occupation before and during pandemic COVID-19. Together we have Miss Hijran Alia as a modeling, Miss Nurul Sharmin as stewardess, Mr. Amir Shami as a food rider, and lastly Miss Alisha Sabrina as statistic of employee during pandemic. I want to ask some question with you guys. I think some of you also want or think what that can happen to workers during COVID-19 pandemic right now, right? So before we talk further about the topic, let me explain first about the occupation. So I think all of you guys have a lot of ambition when you guys at primary school, and when you are already at university, you guys want to achieve your dreams, right? So for an example, be a modeling, engineer, or so on, right? So unfortunately, due to the pandemic COVID-19, the workers had to face the challenges in their working environment, such as their salaries are deducted, as also some companies could not reach the target. So now I will let the guests explain more about the experience in their occupation before and during pandemic COVID-19. The question that I want to working environment is doing well, right? So during the pandemic, that you guys are different on your occupation or working environment. So now, can you guys tell us about experience that faced to you guys? Let's start with Miss Hijran Alia first and continue with the others. Can we? Also, Miss Hijran Alia?
Hi and good afternoon. Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Hijran Alia. Thank you for inviting me. I would love to share my knowledge as a model uses their physical attributes to advertise items or assist a company in delivering a message. We work for a range of clients and purposes, including posing for artisans, modeling clothes, and appearing in commercials as extra. Some models specialize in one type of modeling, such as runway models, fashion models, or fitness models. Fashion models' responsibilities is to represent brands and designers by wearing their clothing and accessories in photo shoots, commercials, and runway shows. This role typically requires both physical attractiveness and the ability to maintain an elegant and graceful appearance through long hours. So during the COVID-19 crisis and during lockdown has adversely impacted the Indian modeling industry in numerous ways. The fashion advertising sectors have been affected by COVID-19 travel limitation and social isolation, which have prevented photo and video shoots. Models are shooting from home, which outfits deliver and creative directors advertising them on where to place their phone for their ideal lighting from distance. Modeling agencies are requesting that companies supply clothing straight to the models, advertisers, and crowdsourcing video campaigns and creative directors and devising new techniques to choose their finest pictures through Zoom meeting. So everything is virtually through Zoom meeting. More than half of fashion models who respond to a recent study stated that they do not have enough money to cover essential needs if they were unable to work for the next 3 months due to the COVID-19 outbreak. So the COVID-19 outbreak has also impacted their income. But currently, this pandemic is already classed as an endemic. Most people around the world have gotten their vaccines and slowly recovering. I hope the modeling industry will improve as soon as possible as many opportunities available to the new future models. Thank you very much. That's
I
all for me.
I see. Thank you, Miss Hijran Alia, to tell your story to us. And I hope after this, the pandemic around that world slowly recovering, after all the people get the vaccination. And I also hope your modeling industry will be improved as soon as possible. And also the future
Thank you.
model get their opportunities available for them. So next, can Miss Nur Sharmin
Thank you.
tell your story to us? Okay.
Hi, my name is Nur Karmi. Uh, Hi everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank you for inviting me to this podcast. It is a pleasure for me to be here. I've been a flight attendant for the last 4 years and counting. I am quite sure everyone understands what a flight attendant does, but I describe it briefly. The primary role of flight attendant is to keep everyone safe by ensuring that everyone follows safety rules and that the flight deck is secure. We also pre-flight safety checks and likely the passengers aboard the aircraft, as well as providing hospitality. Flight attendants also aim to make passenger travel as enjoyable as possible. Other than that, flight attendants have always had unique professional challenges, such as dealing with an unpleasant customer and coping with chronic jet lag. On the other hand, the pandemic has given us a new and more severe difficulties. I also received pushback as the enforcer of the airline's stricter mask policy, and I was worried about the health and safety of my family, colleagues, and myself. And like many others, my career is more risky than ever, especially in the midst of the global health and economic crisis. There are also a few changes for flight attendants during the pandemic. For example, protection were put into place at the start of this public health disaster, including the requirement that every passenger wear a mask while on a flight, including during takeoff and landing. As a consequence of this necessity, it was important to adjust the way the safety measures were presented. When it comes to the cabin refrigeration, passengers must now be reminded to remove their mask before putting on their oxygen mask. Meanwhile, one of the consequences for the flight attendant personal leave in that we only earn 30% of our monthly pay. This is due to the fact that flying allowances account for 70% of our payment. As a flight attendant, the flying allowance the basic salary by 60 to 70%. When the government issued the sit at home order, there was a shortage of aircraft schedules make it impossible. Almost 90% of our salaries were impacted as a result of the flight shortage. Other airlines cut employees' basic pay by providing unpaid leave to cover their company losses. But finally, things look brighter when we get vaccines, are called back from furlough due to the continuance of payroll assistance and air traffic resuming. Also, our passenger number last month were the greatest since the pandemic began. So that's all for me.
Thank you so much to our guest today, Miss Nur Shamin, to share your story that impacted to you during during and before COVID-19. I see many different on your occupation as a stewardess. Your airlines also change the rules and follow the SOP that already given to. So that's all from Miss Shazmin, Nur Shamin. So once again, thank you to share your experience to us. So now let's go to the Miss Alisha Sabrina as a statistic of employee during the pandemic COVID-19. Okay, Miss Alisha Sabrina.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Elisha Sabrina. It's pleasure to be here. Finally, I would say thank you to Fakro, aka the host of the talk show, for giving me a chance to talk about the scientists of employing during the pandemic COVID-19. I feel very happy to invited to this show As we know, the pandemic of COVID-19 has impacted to the whole world, including Malaysia, which is a healthy crisis that the community to survive and well-being in the community. The International Labour Organization, ILO, expect the COVID-19 crisis has increased the employment rate, especially in the service sector. This pandemic also caused persons to work from home or find another alternative work. According to ILO, almost 3.3 billion workforce globally, 4 hours of 5 work as affected by the close of the premise, either separately or completely. On 9 April 2020, the Department of Statistics Malaysia has released that result of the special survive impact of COVID-19 on the economy, the individuals. Over the 60,882 responded invalid or over 52.6 of costume deeply infected by long running of COVID-19 pandemic, which has a claim over 60 lives. Employing the service sector, especially in a food service, record individual purchase rate employed 35.4%, the agriculture sector 21.9%, and the development sector 11.8%.
All right. Thank you, Miss Alicia Sabrina, for the thing that you're going to us. So to share with us about the statistic of employee during the pandemic COVID-19. Now we let our last guest, which is our second last guest, our last guest, sorry. Which is Mr. Amir Shami, to tell us about the challenges of as a food rider before and during the pandemic COVID-19. So say hi to our guest.
Okay, hi everyone, and thank you. First of all, thank you to Fakrul, and thank you again for inviting me for this podcast and for giving me the opportunity to talk about the challenges that I got faced in my occupation during pandemic. Okay, my name is Amir Shahmi. There will always be a daily challenges to face for a food rider. So the first challenge is the vehicle breakdown. There is nothing worse than getting a flat tire on an interstate or busy city street. So to avoid these awkward situations as a driver, we need a reliable vehicle. We need to take care of our vehicle to prevent breakdown. The next challenge is the bathroom breaks. Okay, let me be honest. Nobody really likes to talk about going to the bathroom, but it's a fact of life. And if we are in a vehicle all day long, drinking coffee or eating and drinking a lot of water actually, then you are going to need a bathroom break to prevent embarrassing accident or emergency stop to our customer. So furthermore, the next challenge is the most challenges for me is running out of fuel. Speaking of embarrassment, running low on fuel or completely running out is awkward and inconvenient for a food rider. Keeping more than half of a tank in fuel of our vehicle is a good way to make sure that we are running the food smoothly to the customer. Whether we are a rookie food rider or a seasoned food rider, we are going to encounter unfamiliar situations. So don't take the chance that we can't find our location and we won't make our delivery on time, because we have to chase the time and money for our customer. If not, they are complain to our apps or anything else. So the final challenge is traffic jams and accidents. We wanted to avoid this situation during the raining or unfamiliar situations. So this help minimize our time on the road while making our deliveries and pickups on time. So without unpredictable delays, to conclude, the growth of modern food delivery service has brought us a lot of advantage and inconveniences, more food options, and so on. So however, food delivery service also have some of its downsides too. And then like we have to wait for a while for the food to show up when we are already hungry, or the fact that sometimes the deliver charge that price may be costly, but overall the food delivery service is very assuring to its consumer that they would deliver and prepare our order will reach to the destination or to the customer hands. And thank you again for listening from me, Amir Shamil and Akasha, and the other. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our Mr. Amir Shahmi to share with us your challenges and that happened to you as the food rider. So here I can see that a lot of different challenges that had been faced before and during pandemic COVID-19. So I hope this story that they talk about, it can motivate all of you guys, and we don't know that can happen to us right after this. So I hope this is a lesson for everyone can learn before we face it, the challenges in the future. So that's all from me, and I want to say thank you for my guests, Amir Shahmi, Alisha Sabrina, Hijrat Anda, and Nurul Shahmin.
Thank you, Fatou, for being a good host.
All right. Thank you. There are the challenging us. Also, thank you for joining me for this podcast. Lastly, I hope you guys can be stronger than face us the challenges as on occupation. Thank you so much for joining my podcast. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Fakro. Stay safe.
Very much.
Thank you, Paco.
See you again.
Kita jaga kita.